What's up, everybody? I'm B-True, and we got that 6.9 Kindred Jungle how to carry in low elo game right here. Now, runes and masteries are going to be at the end of the video. I'm just going to bring them up in a quick picture. You guys can pause the video and check them out if you want to. But anyway, here we go. This is Kindred. Hold on, okay, gotta follow us now. So this is Kindred in the jungle after the patch 6.9 mid-season changes. And a lot of things have changed. The game is very mage focused right now, especially the bans. So a lot of the bans during the ban phase are mages, and because of that, you're able to get a few overpowered picks in other positions because people are worried about the new mages here. So I've actually been able to get Kindred a lot more often than I probably should be because people are focusing more on the mages, and Kindred was sitting at a pretty high pick or ban rate before 6.9, and I feel like, from my experience, that's actually dropped because of the whole mage update. So I'm excited about that because I love playing Kindred. She's very overpowered right now, a very strong jungler to help you climb with. So yeah, and we're going to try and keep this video a little bit shorter since recently some of the other videos have been running like 50 minutes, almost an hour or so. So we're going to try and shorten that up so you guys can get the information that you need. Yeah, so anyway, this is a typical start here, starting on the red side. So take Gromp, and then Kindred is very mana intensive with all of her diving around, so blue buff is very important, and they did nerf her early game a little bit, so her clears are a little bit worse, and it's a little bit harder to get your level 3 ganks. And right here you can see, so I warded red just to make sure that Lee wasn't going to invade me. That's why I warded that, because I wanted to know if I didn't see him come there, I was going to have to change up my strategy a little bit. I would have probably gone from Gromp to Wolves down to blue. That way I didn't get invaded by Lee, because Lee is obviously extremely strong at level 2, and he's able to outplay a lot of junglers early on. So right here I'm doing Scuttle because I have blue, so I don't have to worry about mana too much, and you get a good amount of health back from doing Scuttle Crab. So because Kindred's early game clear is a little bit worse, I try and take that Scuttle no matter which side I start on in order to get at least back up to half health. And now what I can do is I can run over here, I can do red, I can smite it and get the health back from it, and hopefully, depending on how I do, get some kind of a gank in. So you can see here I'm actually a little bit low, a little too low to actually do anything. So all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to focus on getting the stack for my passive off of this Scuttle here. So I was going to go over here and try and cut Yasuo off down here, but I saw that they had this kill taken care of. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to come down here and get tabs on his blue. So I see Lee Sin here. So I start pinging and saying, all right, hey, Lee's down here. He's going to do his blue next. LeBlanc is right here. Now, right here, so Annie, this is sort of my fault. So I face checked this bush without knowing, especially after knowing that Annie had left her lane. You don't want to do this, right? So Annie gets her stun in. She flashes, ignites me. So right there, I know I'm going to die. There's no point trying to flash or do anything else. So I just try to get a little bit of damage on her to help LeBlanc out. Unfortunately, LeBlanc's out of mana, so I die for nothing, right? You don't ever want to do that. That was my fault. That's a bad play right there. Getting tabs on blue here, getting some vision on the blue, and pinging LeBlanc to come down here to try and take this blue from Lee, that was a good play. But once you see Annie missing, you can't be checking bushes down in their side. That's not a good idea. Okay, so right now, Yasuo has been pushing up a lot up here, and so they just got the kill on him just right before I died. So I'm coming down here because he just teleported up. So I know he doesn't have teleport anymore. I didn't see if he had flash or not, but I know that he has teleport, or he doesn't have teleport. He just used it. So my thoughts are, okay, so he's pushed up. Malachi's got a kill. He's a little bit low, so Yasuo is trying to push into him to try and get his wave into the tower. He's going to try and eventually try and kill Maokai. So I was thinking, okay, if I can come down here and I can gank Yasuo, I can kill him. He won't have teleport. He'll lose a bunch of CS, and he'll have to run back into lane. So I'm running here, and then I see Lee Sin, right? So I immediately drop my W, drop the E, smite, use the right smite, the red smite, because the red smite reduces the damage and makes you do true damage to him. So without those nerfs, if I could have queued one more time, I probably would have been able to kill Lee Sin. So the early game nerf is a little bit harder than I expected it to be, but it's not too bad. So right there, we actually got a decent amount out of that right there. We were able to, I stopped the gank from Lee Sin, almost got the kill, didn't really lose anything in the process. So now all I'm doing is I'm coming down here and trying to cover this turret while LeBlanc is bot. And Annie obviously is Annie, and she does a crap ton of damage. So you want to be very careful here, especially because she has the level lead. And all I'm trying to do is just take this CS and defend the turret so Annie can't push into the turret. Because, see, LeBlanc is staying down here trying to get these kills. So LeBlanc got the kill on Vayne, and now she's going on Alistar. So this could be time that Annie is free pushing into this tower. You don't ever want to lose this tower, right? This tower right here is the key to victory always. So more important than getting my jungle camps is, well, first off, you get a little bit more gold if you're able to farm this well. And right there, I should have seen it coming. So Annie hits 6. She ults. She had her 4-stack passive up, and her burst is, well, you know, it's Annie. That's her burst. So early game starting off pretty rough for me right here, right? So this is the time when a lot of people might start getting a little nervous, right? They start going on tilt a little bit. They start trying to make plays to get back in the game, and that's something you don't want to do. When you start trying to make plays, you start making mistakes, and when you start making mistakes, you're gonna start kind of making it even worse than yourself. You're gonna snowball the game against yourself, right? So I'm 0-2. I know that I need to play a little bit more defensive here. We've got a 2-0 mid laner. She's very behind in CS because she's been down there and bot for so long getting kills. But I also know that top lane has a 1-kill advantage, and he's going tank to Yasuo, so Maokai should be able to do pretty well in that matchup up here. So I know that my job now, being 0-2, I didn't snowball the early game, so my job currently is to just try and help my team as much as possible. Help the fed members of my team. So you have to realize when you're in low elo like this, I know that you want to carry all the time, but you have to understand that depending on how the game goes for the first 10 minutes or so, you can't always do that. You can't always be the one who carries. So when somebody on your team is doing well and you recognize that they know what they're doing and they are doing well, try and help them if you aren't in a position to carry yourself. So right now, like I said, 0-2, only level 5, right? Lee Sin's only level 4, so he's even worse, but only level 5. Not much I can do. So I want to try and help out Maokai and LeBlanc as much as possible. So right now, Kindred is very good at soloing objectives like this, so taking the dragon here. So I know that I can take this dragon, and this is the water dragon, which gives the, I believe it's 8%, 8 or 10% of your missing health and mana back every like 10 seconds. So that's going to help my laners a lot. So now whenever they lose, they have bad trades, or they start running out of mana, every 10 seconds they're going to be getting back like 8% of their missing health and mana, right? So that's very important for the laning phase. So taking that water dragon early is really going to help out all of my laners. It's going to help me out too, but it's going to help my... So you can see right here. Let's go back real quick. Okay, so right here, you see where my mana is at? Watch when the dragon hits. Okay, so here. So, boom. Look at how much more mana I just got back right there, right? So, this helps a lot. And now I'm going to get the blue buff. which is going to help me with my mana here. But these new elemental dragons are able to influence your playstyle a lot. And so they're very important for early jungles like this who are able to get objectives quickly. So right here, LeBlanc gets ganked, and she's obviously super mobile, so she's very hard to take care of, and she survives. Maokai's too low to actually do anything about it, and LeBlanc gets lucky right there. All right, so I'm just farming. There's not a lot that I can do about that right now. So I tell them I'm coming bot. I'm level 6 now. I have my ult. I know that I was planning on tower diving until... So Yasuo teleports in. So let's go back. Let's get that. All right. Okay, so they're pushing. And here comes Yasuo. So Yasuo comes in, kills Morgana. Now right here, okay, there is absolutely nothing that I'm going to do to save Jhin right now. There's nothing that on a 3v1 this early in the game, there's nothing that I can do. I could possibly get a kill on Alistar or Vayne, but all I'm going to end up doing is giving them even another kill. So what do? I back up. There's no reason to go jump in on that. The wave is pushed up, right? There's 3 of them down there. So I leave and come up here and just try and get a stack. There's nothing that I could possibly do in that situation to help them out. So I leave this one right here so that the camp doesn't reset. And Lee, when he looks at it, Lee's only going to have that one little minion. So he's going to get no experience, next to no gold from that. I get the mark for my passive because I took the big one. And so he's going to have to kill that little one and then wait 50 seconds for it to respawn again. So anytime you're in the enemy's jungle, so like for the raptors, kill the big raptor, 2 small ones, leave a little one. For the Krugs, kill the big one, leave the little one. For the wolves, kill a big one, kill a big one and a little one, and then leave one little one. That's just a way that you can take this stuff from your enemy and then not give them anything in return. So he's gonna have to reset that in order to get that experience in the future. And that's how you beat your enemy jungler, by counter jungling. So right now, Vayne is a little bit less than half health, right? And she's out of mana. And she's up here all alone. I saw her pushing, so I'm going to come down here. And I easily have the advantage, right? So I know that she's backing in this bush, because we have a ward here. So I leap into the bush, put down my W, and this is an easy kill right here. Okay, so here, just take a little bit of CS. And right now, so I'm pinging the tower, right? So I have my ult. We've got Morg is 6, Jhin is 6. So I'm pinging, hey, all right, we've got Vayne. Alistar might come, but we don't have to worry about that. Let's take this tower. All right, so I got the kill on Vayne, and we just took the tower. So now bot lane has a pretty decent advantage. Now that they're able to kind of roam free, and they've got all this extra space now the enemy team has to worry about. And conveniently, my passive mark is right here, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this. Now, I didn't want to kill that little one, but Wolf actually killed it, so unfortunately, that camp reset, which I wanted to leave that small one there. So now here, I see that they're going in on Annie, and I tried to jump over this wall, which I forgot that you have to jump over this wall. You can't jump over this wall. You have to jump over this wall. So I was going to come over and help, and I was going to dive under the tower with them, but they got the kill. As you can see here, there's still just this one raptor here, so Lee still hasn't reset this, and he still hasn't gotten any gold or experience from this at all. So we end up catching Alistar out here. And unfortunately, it's very difficult to kill Alistar when he has his ult on. And then I see Vayne coming in from the side. So, so right here. So we see Vayne coming in from the side right here, right? Now, which is the more important target, right? Alistair, the support, or Vayne, the one who we need to keep held down at all costs. We cannot let her get a few items and get fed. So immediately I turn around to try and take out Vayne. And she E's Jhin to cancel his ult, which, I mean, that's not a bad move, but she could have saved herself by not going in on that. That wasn't a good decision on her. So now we got a 4-on-1. And all we got to do now is just cut her off and kill her. There isn't much that she can do. However, Alistair comes in. Okay, so we're chasing her, and then we see this, right? So these guys are coming in. I figured that LeBlanc and Jhin had this kill, so I turned around on Alistair. We know Alistair doesn't have his ult anymore. Okay, so we get Alistair, and now we can turn this into a triple kill. Or a double kill, sorry. However, unfortunately, because of that, Vayne now got away to up here. And now we got Annie, which Annie kills me because I wasn't able to ult because of her ult. So I'll go back. Okay, so right here, here's Annie. And I'm trying to get away, right? So I figured that we were all going to turn around on Annie. She ults me. I'm stunned. She hits her Q and her W. I die immediately. No chance to ult, unfortunately. That's the problem with Kindred. Hard CC, if you get bursted with hard CC and you can't ult, you're kind of screwed in that situation, right? Luckily, we get the kill on Annie. Vayne's still running around like that. So Maokai, because of this, right, because of everything's going on down here, Yasuo got drawn down here because his team was losing this fight. So now Maokai gets the turret and has a free open lane, right? So as soon as I see Yasuo down here, I start pinging Maokai. I'm like, yo, take this turret right here, okay? Yasuo is down here. Push this lane. You got two kills. You got a Bammy Cinder. Take this turret and push. And I'm like, all right, so Yasuo's coming this way now. Just push your wave into turret and then get out of there. So that's what Maokai should be doing. Maokai is doing correctly, right? So he doesn't have teleport. There's nothing he can do in that situation. So just push that lane into this turret, right? While we're down here doing team deathmatch and all those things, push those lanes. Okay, so now we're just farming. So now I see that the Earth Dragon is up, right? So the Earth Dragon gives you bonus true damage to objectives and turrets. So this Earth Dragon, in my opinion, is extremely important, especially if you have a lead, because you want to be able to push down turrets as quick as possible and end before the enemy team can catch up. So I take the dragon there. There's nothing down there. Maokai's holding his own up there. So there isn't a ton for us to do right now, right? So I'm just farming. Get that blue buff so I can use my spells. All of our lanes are pushed up, so we're in a good position right now. Okay, so now we see that, so Annie is up here. Yasuo's down here. We got Vayne down here. Open tower mid. So I ping Morgana and I say, hey, let's go take this. So Lee's up there. Lee gets the kill on LeBlanc. But we just took, I just took the Earth Dragon, so I'm like, all right, let's take this. So for some reason, right, I'm not sure why, Lee and Annie decide to, after getting the kill on Morgana, decide to come back here for Maokai. I'm not sure why. Doesn't make any sense to me, but they gave us this mid tower for free, right? So that's best case scenario right there. We just got that mid tower because they were chasing LeBlanc. I got another stack for my passive. And once again, I see Vayne all alone down here. So I mark her with my passive, And I'm going to come down here and try and collect on the stacks. And Kindred is extremely strong in 1v1s, especially against squishy targets like that. So that was a pretty easy kill against Vayne, which Vayne is known for her one-on-one. So it's a pretty satisfying kill right there. So now we have all of the outer turrets taken. We have a 5,000 gold lead. Maokai is doing the best out of our team right now. He's 2-0. He has a 40 CS lead on Yasuo, so that's like it's like 3 kills and an assist basically is what Maokai has right now. He's got about a kill and assist of gold over Yasuo based on his CS alone. So now I'm pinging Rift Herald, right? So Maokai has been in top lane by himself the entire game. He's been pushing into this tower, drawing 2 and 3 people up to him, which is exactly what he needs to do. That's perfect. He gives us advantages everywhere else around the board because they've got to have 2 or 3 people in this lane all the time. So I'm just pinging to him and saying, hey, let's give you this Rift Herald buff, because the new Rift Herald buff is extremely strong if you're in a lane all by yourself. So it's very good for top lane. So I'm saying, hey, Maokai, let's go. Let's get this, because this is going to give, one, it's going to give me some stack for my passive, and 2, it's going to give Maokai the additional bonus damage and the damage reduction for the next 20 minutes, right, which is huge. So come down here, and we give him the Rift Herald buffed. So now Maokai is absolutely a beast with the Rift Herald. He's 2-0, going full tank. He's hard enough to kill as it is. Now he's got extra damage reduction. I think it's 5%, and like a static shiv type passive that builds up every now and then that's expended on single targets. So now we cast Yasuo out a little bit. So he's coming down, and Annie comes in to try and ult to save Yasuo. So we get the kill on Annie. Maokai's teleporting in. I still have my ultimate, right? So right now, I'm low. Tibbers is still there. Lee Sin is almost full. About to kill LeBlanc. So I drop my ultimate. Unfortunately, actually, okay, excuse me. Unfortunately and fortunately, so LeBlanc is running out of my ultimate, and Lee Sin ults her back into my ultimate, which Yasuo gets his ultimate off, but it doesn't do anything because we're all invulnerable in here. So as soon as that drops, we Q, Maokai gets off his ult, Lee Sin and Yasuo go down. Well, no, wait, Lee Sin, I didn't even notice. So Lee Sin's still alive, right? And then we get the kill on Alistar because he comes in to try and save his friends. One of the things that you want to try not to do and get out of the habit of doing is diving into fights that you're going to lose in order to save somebody. Because most of the time, you won't save them and you'll end up dying as well. So like right here, why would Alistar come in here, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, there's 4 of us because one of those is LeBlanc's clone. So there's 4 of us right here. Lee Sin just flashed out, right? There's no reason for Alistar to come in here other than to try and get kills. And trying to get kills is the #1 way to throw a game. So he comes in, tries to get a kill on me, right? Because he doesn't get the kill on me, he dies. Lee Sin most likely would have survived regardless after he flashed out of there because I couldn't have caught him, I don't think. So now Alistar dies, he gives us another kill. I know it's hard to do, but sometimes when somebody is out of position and they're going to die, no matter what you do, you need to just let them go. So now 3 of their people are dead. They can do nothing to contest this tower. So we take their inner tower now. Okay, so then Vayne comes in to try and defend. Unfortunately, she's all alone. She gets blown up. I'm just standing here focusing on the tower because I'm too low to actually go in and dive anybody, and I don't have my ult. Okay, so we got some damage on the inhibitor turret. We got the mid turret, or yeah, the mid inner turret. Right here, I'm saying, hey, like Maokai, get out of there. I know he's fed, but we still want them to get out. So now, I'm able to kite pretty well. So I help Maokai initiate this fight and kite back, and we just have such a lead at this point that we're able to just take them out one by one without a problem. I have more health at the end of that fight than I did at the start of it. I mean, that's where we're at right now, and that's the kind of thing that Kindred can do, especially with her kiting ability. So Dragon's coming up in 30 seconds. I decide to take blue here. Maokai, not sure what Maokai's doing. Maokai's probably, yep, so Maokai, that's, the new Rift Herald buff is insane. It does so much damage, and it just, oh my god, it's crazy. If you can get your top laner who's already fed with the Rift, give him the Rift Herald buff, I mean, it's pretty much GG. So here we go, we got another Water Dragon, and they forfeit immediately at the 20-minute mark, right? So, okay, so what did we see in this game here? So I started off 0-2. One of them was absolutely my fault. The other one, I probably shouldn't have been. Both my deaths, my first 2 deaths were to Annie, and it's because of her stun. So I know that Annie has hard CC. You can see that her stun meter is up now. And the first time I walked into this bush up here, knowing that Annie was missing, and died. And I should have, because that was a big mistake on my part. So that was my first death. My second death was down in here, because I turned around with my team, assuming we were going to go in on her, and I got Alt W E'd, and, or Alt Q W'd, yeah, sorry. Annie's combo, you know what I'm saying. And I died immediately. So, Kindred she's difficult to... Sorry. I've done that in a past video. It's not she. It's it. Kindred is difficult to play if you try and play her My god, I'm going to be doing that all the time, so just forgive me for it. If you try and play Kindred as like a normal melee style jungler, right? So Kindred's ult is very, very game changing and helping, and it can completely swing the tide of a fight or even a game. But if you can't get the ult off, then there's nothing you can do about it. So you have to be careful of hard CC and not face check bushes when you know that the enemy team has hard CC, like an Annie, right? So after those first 2 deaths, there were 2 things that I could have done, right? I could have either gone on tilt, tried even harder, and started just ganking lanes constantly, trying to get kills to get myself back into it. Probably would have ended up feeding more, getting a bunch more deaths, falling behind in experience, falling behind in gold, and overall just, throwing the game from my standpoint. Or what I did, and what I would advise you to do, is just take a look at the situation, right? Identify what is going on in the game. So I saw that Maokai had an advantage over Yasuo, LeBlanc had an advantage over Annie, and bot lane, there's really nothing going on at the time of my second death, right? So I knew that I was not going to be able to carry this game because of how far that I was behind already. Kindred needs to snowball early in order to hard carry the game. So hard carrying the game was out of the question. So now my priorities and my thought process has to shift to, what do I need to do so that somebody else on my team can hard carry the game? And in this case, it was help LeBlanc and help Maokai. The first thing that involved was getting this Water Dragon, the first Water Dragon, in order to help them get the extra mana and the extra health every couple seconds, help them stay in lane longer, to help them with their pressure, and help them extend their lead. So then I come down bot because Vayne's all alone, kill Vayne. As soon as Vayne is dead and Morgana and Jhin come back into lane at full health. All right, well, let's take this tower. If we take this tower, then bot lane is going to have an advantage. They're going to be able to roam. They're going to be able to help LeBlanc mid because they'll be able to roam and rotate mid. So we take the tower, and now we have a little bit of an opening on the bot lane, right? That leads to a big extended team fight in the jungle, which allows Maokai to push down and take the top tower and push down into this inner tower here. So it's all a domino effect. Every decision that you make, it has repercussions everywhere else, right? So I could have went up and I could have just ganked Maokai over and over and over. Or, because I know that Maokai was doing really well, what I could do is I could try and pull all of the attention down to this bot and mid lane so that Maokai has an open lane up here so that he can free farm and push towers down, right? Now, you have to know that your top laner is capable of doing that, because if he starts trying to join in on these fights, then it's pointless. It doesn't really make as much sense. So I noticed that he was pushing towers and he was farming and he was doing what he needed to do. So I'm trying to pull people down to this bot lane, pull people to the mid lane, and get them away from Maokai. Get Maokai the Rift Herald as soon as possible to extend his lead, and then after that point, as soon as Maokai was like 4-0 with the Rift Herald buff, I knew there was no reason at all for me to go top lane at all for the rest of the game, right? Maokai had top lane completely taken care of. From that point on, my two decisions were push mid or push bot, and that's it. So if we can keep the pressure on mid and bot, he's either going to, a few things are going to happen. Either he's going to have a free top lane, he's going to be able to take these towers and the inhibitor, and then join us mid or bot, or they're going to have to go send 2 or 3 top for him, and we're going to get free towers mid and bot, right? So there was nothing that they could do if we executed correctly, and I noticed that Maokai knew what he was doing, and we had a strong LeBlanc as well, so I decided that the best priority for me to do was to go bot or mid lane and try and push and free up Maokai. So yeah, this video is a lesson on what to do when you are not in a position to hard carry, right? And you're going to have those games. You can't carry every single game. It just doesn't work that way. Nobody does. There's going to be games where you make mistakes early and you can't snowball anymore. So your new goal is to snowball somebody else who knows what they're doing. And you have to identify who knows what they're doing and figure out how to help them. And helping them doesn't, like I said, doesn't always mean ganking for them. Sometimes it means taking pressure away from them. So keeping Lee Sin from being able to gank Maokai to get Yasuo back into the game. Because that's something, if Lee Sin would have ganked Maokai a few times, given Yasuo a couple kills, and then some free farm, push down a tower, all of a sudden Maokai no longer has such a big lead and he can't just sit up there and free farm, and he's not a problem anymore. So I pulled Lee Sin bot because I was down bot in mid lane so often, right? So keeping Lee Sin out of top lane was the best way for me to help Maokai at the time, because I had somebody else on my team, LeBlanc, who also knew what they were doing. So yeah, I hope this video was instructional. This one's a lot shorter than the other two, which I'm happy about, because the other two are just a little too long, and probably I rambled a little bit too much and wasn't too concise with all my thoughts. But anyway, this is a video on how to carry when you're not carrying, if that makes any sense. Basically, it's how to help people who are carrying when you don't start off the best, right? So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that subscribe button so you guys can stay up to date with this series and then all the future videos that I make. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this series and what you think about the information in it. That way I know if you guys are if you guys are enjoying this, if you guys want to see more of it, and hit the like button. If you don't like it, also let me know. I mean, hey, I got thick skin. I can take it. If you guys don't like this style or you don't like whatever I'm saying, let me know about it. We can have a discussion down in the comments. So just leave a comment down below. Hit the like button or hit the dislike button if you don't like it. And hey, whatever. I got to know so I can make videos you guys want to see. So yeah, anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still hanging around to this point, I appreciate it. And everybody, like I said, have a great day and peace.